Welcome. Let's begin at the top of our mats in Tadasana, mountain pose, feet sit bone distance apart, feeling that strength, that support of your legs. And bring the hands together in front of the heart, beginning with the sound of Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om, peace, peace, peace. May the benefits of our practice extend out to all beings everywhere. Let's begin with Surya Namaskar. Inhaling, stretch the arms up, open up the whole front body. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, step the right leg all the way back, drop the knee down and lift through your heart, lift through your chest. And step it back into knees, chest, chin, or flat onto the abdomen. Inhale, Bhujangasana, shoulders back, back muscles strong. And take it back and up for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward, left knee drops down, open through the heart. And step to the top of the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, stretch up, reach up, press into the feet. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back this time. And take it back, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, Bhujangasana, pubic bone presses down. And take it back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, stretch up, reach up, look up. And Tadasana, mountain pose. Doing that again with some variations. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold as we clasp the hands behind the lower back. Keep that clasp. Inhale, half lift. Lift the fist up and fold. Keep gathering your shoulder blades together behind your back, opening through the front of the chest and breathing into the shoulders. One more breath. Release the hands down. Step the right leg all the way back. Drop that knee down. Lift up through the arms. Grounding strong into the legs. Feeling like you're going to slide the left heel back and slide your right knee forward at the same time to lift up. And let that lift rise all the way through the fingertips. Release the hands down now, and let's send that right leg up into standing split position. So being mindful that you're not dumping all the way to the outside of that left leg. Keep the weight centered and start to use and turn on the inner leg muscles on that left side. Right glute powered up, right quad powered up. One more breath. Now big step back into high lunge. So here in high lunge, find that your back heel isn't sinking back and down. Instead, lift it up over the ball mount of the right foot. And then you can bend a little deeper into that front knee. One more breath. All right, release the hands down. Let's wash it away with a vinyasa. Lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Take a refreshing breath in and out here. All right, right foot steps forward, left knee down. Reach up through the arms. Lift the ribs up out of the hips. Feel that length everywhere. And then release the hands down. Left leg is nice and active, awake as you lift it up. And root down through that right big toe, inner leg. Nice and active, turned on. Feet press apart with great energy. One more breath. And then step that left leg all the way back. Come up into high lunge. Remember, back heel does not sink back. It lifts over the ball mount of the foot. And bend a little deeper into that front knee. Maybe take Kali Mudra with the arms. Use the arms to lift those ribs up out of the hips. All right, release the hands down. Vashisthasana on the left, side plank on your left. Enjoying your strength, enjoying the warmth, the effort, your will, your ability to connect to strength. One more breath here. And then switch the sides. Vashisthasana on the right. Find that this left hip isn't tilting way back. Bring it over the right hip. Nice and neutral. Makes you work more. All right, left hand down. Let's wash it away with a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and step right foot forward now. Ground the left foot down and rise up into Virabhadrasana 1. Those left toes are pointing towards your front left corner of the mat. Really rooting down through left heel, outer blade of the foot, so the whole leg up to the glute is nice and active, all the muscles hugging the bone, allowing deeper bend into the right knee, remembering to lift the ribs up out of the hips. Now let's wrap the arms back, interlacing the fingers behind the lower back. Roll the shoulders together behind you, heart open, and bow forward for devotional warrior. Keep bending into that right knee as you press down and back through that back foot. Next inhale, press into the feet, press into the legs, rise up, warrior 1. Let's straighten the right leg, pivot your feet to the left, open side of your mat, and then shift, pivot to face the back of your mat into warrior 1 facing the back. Slow, full, unrushed breaths. All right, let's interlace those fingers behind the lower back. Open up the chest and lead with your heart as you bow forward. Humble warrior. Bend a little more into that front knee than you want to or think you can. And next inhale brings you back up, warrior 1. Open up to the open side of the mat once more. Bring your hands to your hips here. Relax. Relax. Right toes turn to the front of the room, front of your mat. We have a heel to heel alignment or heel to arch alignment. Bring the arms out into the T position, preparing for a Trikonasana triangle pose. This right hip starts to shift back, tucking under the left hip as you stretch forward with those right fingers. Then release right arm down, left arm up. Avoiding this C curving and rounding in the right side. Instead, cinch your left hip and your left ribs towards one another, lengthening both sides of the body. If you want a little more work today, left arm reaches over your head, and then the right arm reaches up also, so it's like you're holding a big globe over your head. All right, we'll all drop that right hand down. Bring the left hand onto your left hip as you look down, shifting into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. We'll begin to bend into this right knee. Bring your right hand to the outer right corner of your mat, shift the weight forward, and start to elevate left leg up. Everything awake, everything filled with your awareness, from the toes to the top of your head. If you like, left arm can come up. And that same cinching of left hip towards left ribs to lengthen that right side body, get a little longer and a little lighter on those right fingers. Feeling the body hugging, awake and alive. One more breath. Now let's slowly bend into this right knee and step all the way back into warrior 2 position. Next inhale, straighten the right leg, turn the right toes in, facing the open side of your mat. And then open up into warrior 2, facing the back of your mat. Let's straighten out this left leg. Start to send that left hip back, tucking it under right as you extend forward with your left fingers. Left arm down, right arm up. Everything lengthening. No dumping of the weight into that left hand. Use your body. If you took that variation on the other side, extend the right arm over and left arm. If the arms are up, let them down. Right arm onto your right hip. Look down at the left foot and bend into the left knee. Shift the weight forward and left fingers lightly down for Ardha Chandrasana. Right leg completely awake. Option to look to your right or even look up at your right thumb. Remember, don't dump all the way to the outer left leg. Push through the big toe, inner left leg awake, active, liver meridian. Liver holds that energy of determination, also anger. All right, slowly step back, warrior two. And straighten this left leg, turn the left toes in. You're facing the open side of your mat, hands on your hips, relax. Let's pivot both feet now to face the front of the mat and step to the front of the mat into Tadasana, mountain pose, and just feel, relax. Relax, relax. The energy moves, warm energy, body opening up. All right, let's step the right leg back, now 3 feet behind you, hands on your hips to help square them out and feel like you're not walking a tightrope, walking like on railroad tracks, so each hip has space here. And we'll bring the left hand, right hand on the lower back. Oh no, I was right the first time. Left hand on your lower back, right arm up. And as you press through this right heel, feel like someone's pulling your hips back, pulling your sit bones back as you stretch forward with the right hand and then cross right hand either to your left shin, foot, or ground it on the ground on the outside of that left foot. Use your left hand to press into your back and roll that left shoulder back. If the left shoulder feels stacked over the right, you can reach that left arm up. 3 more breaths here. Nice, slow, full breaths. All right, release the left hand down and fold over your left leg. And feeling that length, sit bones stretching back and up. Open up lower back, middle back. All right, next pose, revolved half moon. Let's start to bend into this left knee to shift the weight forward, walk the hands forward and lift the right leg up. Make sure your spine is nice and long here and use blocks under your hands if you need to. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Hips are nice and squared. And breathe here. One more breath. All right, left hand down. Step that right leg back and come up to stand. Right foot steps forward, Tadasana, mountain pose. Left leg goes back, 3 feet behind you. Make sure you're nice and sturdy here, feeling strong in your stance. Then we'll bring right hand on the lower back, inhale, left arm up. As much as you're reaching up with these left fingers, you're rooting down through that left foot, left thigh. And then start to send sit bones back as you stretch upper body forward and twist to your right for 5 breaths. One more breath. And release right hand down, fold over that right leg. Breathe into exactly where it feels coiled or tight, stuck. Open things up with your awareness, with your breath. All right, shifting into a revolved half moon. Weight comes forward, arms walk forward so you can lift that left leg up. Feel that the left hip isn't turning out to the left. Roll it in, roll the thigh in, and then reach right arm up. From solar plexus and navel, energy extends out through all the limbs like a compass. Everything awake, active. One more breath. And release right hand down. Step that left leg back. Reach up the upper body. Come to stand. And step to the top of the mat, Tadasana. Relax. No need to wiggle or shake anything out. Just feel. Just allow what's moving to move. All right, let's step back with the left leg. Open up to the open side of your mat. Make sure the feet are nice and parallel. And we'll go ahead and come into a forward fold. Make sure to avoid rounding your back in forward fold. So let's start with a flat back. Hands on the hips. Turn the elbows straight back. Open up the front of the chest. Bend into your knees. Even if you're a pro, let's start with the knees bent and into a flat back. So sit bones. If you don't know where those are, think about it. Learn. And send those sit bones straight back. Widen them apart. And extend the crown of the head forward. Not the chin, but the crown. And if you want to go deeper, it's because you're tilting your sit bones, tilting your tailbone up higher, opening up the back of the legs, and extending the crown of the head forward and down. Now we'll do some acupressure here. Let's release our hands down towards our ankles. And if it's hard to follow along verbally, I'm demonstrating. So from the inner ankle bone, 3 fingers worth of measurement. Above that third finger, you're going to press right into the middle of that inner calf there. So with your arms down here, whatever way this is easiest, you're going to press into that point, which goes into liver meridian. As you, again, awareness fills pelvic floor, fills sit bones, and you tilt them up and open them up. This helps to literally open up that energy flow that goes into the inner legs. So as we move into the subtle body practices, we start to learn that you can do all the stretching in the world, you can do all the weightlifting, all the strengthening. But when you have repressed emotions and stuck, stagnant energy, it doesn't matter. You won't get that openness, that freedom, that feeling that you're searching for. You have to go a little deeper. Think about the energy pathways, moving up the legs, up the front of the hips here, deep in the body, past the muscles, closer to the bones. 3 more breaths. One more breath. All right, let's release the hands down. And next posture, you have 2 options. You can take frog pose or straddle split. For straddle split, you widen the legs, lower down that way. Or for frog pose, you bend the knees. The feet are flexing out to the sides. Your hips are in line with your knees are in line with your heels, and you can lower down onto forearms. We have just 5 breaths here. Last breath deep into the pelvic floor. And slowly start to gather the legs back in a position you feel a little more comfortable with hands on the ground. Take a nice full breath in and out here. And then inhale, come up to stand. And start to turn the heels in now, toes out, deep bend into your knees. We'll bring the hands onto the thighs and just wring this out a little bit, pressing into one thigh as you drop one shoulder down. And then switch. Make one more round of that. Think about lengthening the spine as you do this. And then coming into goddess pose or horse pose, cactusing the arms, sitting nice and low here. Press into the ball mounds of the feet, big toe. inner legs working. 3 more breaths. Say it a little lower. You find some ease, some okayness within discomfort and tension. It's very important. Drop the tailbone a little more straight down in between those heels. 1 more breath. And release, straighten the legs, pivot the toes in, step to the top of the mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. Relax. So as we approach spring and approach the wood element season in Chinese medicine, Kapha season in Ayurveda, really start to connect with this action energy, this warmth, this determination that is really present during this time. And if it's not, it can really get in the way of us moving with the changes and moving with the season, moving with the essence of what is around us. So working on stomach meridian, which is like our digestion and that action that transforms our food into medicine and nourishment. Very important for that to be strong and fired up. So move into wood element and the liver energy is very present. We can work on those channels that run through the inner legs. You can also do the complementary ones, which we'll end class with, that's more on the outer body. So we've been speaking about this inner leg energy. We're going to think about integrating that into our standing postures, which is very important. We tend to kind of just dump everything on the outer or like into our back and leave these more subtle, deeper inward parts out because it might not be as comfortable or whatever. So as we're in these standing postures, let's really think about not forgetting all this work and all this feeling we've been doing in the inner legs. Big way to do that also is pushing down through the big toe. Very important. That's that liver energy in there. So let's bring that into dancer's pose, which we can do in the back leg, right? Because we're reaching through that back toe, use the inner leg there, and we're standing on that front leg. So let's shift the weight into the left leg, press down through that big toe. Can you feel your inner left quad muscles turning on? Feel like you're lifting up the kneecap on that left side. And then your right arm, like you're holding a tray, the palm facing outward, and grab the inside of that right foot. If you're really good at this pose, you can grab the inner ankle, bring the left arm up, squeeze the knees together to begin. And then before you think about going down, we're not going down. If anything, you reach forward and the left arm stays in line with your head. But let's begin by kicking back and up and reach up and back through that big toe as you push down through your standing big toe. Once you can't kick anymore, you max out there, then reach forward. Finding that polarity, as much as you kick back, you reach forward. One more breath. Slowly kick to come out. Take your time. Tadasana, mountain pose. Relax. Right, weight shifts into the right leg. Again, engage that inner leg. Feel it powered up non-stop. Don't let it relax. And then hold inner left leg, left foot. Right arm comes up. And first, find your max with kicking back and up. Stretch open the front side of the left body. The left shoulder opens up and rolls back. Then reach forward. Like a balance beam. Slowly kick to come out. And release, Tadasana. Relax, feel that energy movement in the heart, lungs, hips, legs. Posture gets it all. It's an amazing pose. Right, moving on, some more balancing, working those inner legs. Let's go ahead and come into Utkatasana, sitting in a low chair. Shift the weight over to your left leg. Feel all the muscles hugging the bones. Stay low. And bring that right knee up to your chest. Cross right thigh over left thigh. Your right toes can hang, or you can think about curling them behind your left calf. Eagle pose. Garasana. Left arm can go over right for the full bind. Bring the elbows down, lift the chest up. Try not to round forward. Keep sitting low. And squeeze inner thighs together, activating that energy there. One more breath. Inhale, stretch the arms up, legs together. And then cross left arm under right. Sit low. Shift the weight to the right leg and cross left over right. Everything hugs to the midline of the body. Practicing finding center, balance. One more breath. And inhale, stretch the arms up, legs together. Exhale there and take Kali Mudra. Interlace all the fingers except the pointer and the thumb. Squeeze the legs together and squeeze your head with your arms. So no bend in the elbows, nice and awake. And start to find the ribs interlacing in front of you. Lower belly in and up, so no arching of your spine here. Keep it neutral. Tailbone falls down right in between your heels. And now let's go to the right. 5 breaths. Don't twist your spine. Keep everything neutral. Breathing for 2. 3. 4. One more breath. Inhale, come back up. And go to the left. 5 breaths. Feel both sides of the body stretching open. Hips lift up out of the hips as the hips grow down. Keep the front of the throat open. Press the hips to the right, a little more. Last breath. And inhale, grow up to center. Drop your head all the way back. I promise it won't fall off. Let it go all the way back. Push through the feet to lift the chest up. Push your heart up. And then reach back, look back, go back. Weight in the heels. Stretch open the front of the body. Feel like you're lifting all the organs in the lower abdomen up into your ribs. You literally can. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the arms. Relax. Don't wiggle. Just relax. All right, beautiful. Let's drop down into Malasana squat. If it's hard for you to get your heels down, you might need to widen your feet a little bit more. You could also get like a rolled towel, rolled blanket, and put it under your heels. It makes it a lot easier to start opening up the ankles and the feet to do this pose. And if you have like knee pain, hip pain, lower back pain, and this is like terrible on your feet, so a lot of the problems up top, like a building, come from the foundation. It's very important to have the ankles in their full range of mobility and the feet to break up tension in there to prevent issues all over that. So you can do a little work here, or you can take it easy here and put some blocks and sit on while I demonstrate where we're going next. So if you can't do this bind that we're going to be doing, you can grab like a strap or a towel or something and bring it into your left hand and swing it behind you so that when you go into the bind, you can hold on to the strap if you can't grab your fingers. But the idea here is I'm going to drop the right shoulder about underneath my right thigh, swing this arm up, swing this left arm back. You might be here nice and low with your knees bent, or you can start to have the feet wide as your mat, toes forward, drop the upper body down, and then twist the heart open. So you can meet me there, or you can stay in squat if you want to, or you can come up and just bring right hand down, left arm behind your back. All right, so if you're trying this, right arm under, left arm back, and fold here. Option to stay here or come up into bird of paradise. You bring that left foot right under your left hip, come onto the right tippy toes. No dead leg on the right side. Turn it on as it comes up with you in an in-breath. Remember that inner left leg active. Push through the big toe and then reach out through the right big toe to straighten the leg, maybe. If you came up, slowly come down. Same way you came up. We're all going to meet a malasana squat and relax. Switching sides. Left arm under, right arm back. You can stay on the fold. Again, you can modify. Just put the left hand on the ground, right arm behind your back. Stay here in this folded twist, or come up for bird of paradise. Right foot steps under you. On the left tippy toes, you can even stay here, just working on shifting weight and relaxing there, or come on up. If you're standing, press that right thigh back. Imagine you're pushing the ceiling with the crown of your head. If you're up, come down the same way. We're all going to meet a malasana squat. You can take 5 more breaths here or practice your crow. Very important for crow. Do not start with your hands all up in here. It's not going to happen. It's going to be weird and hard for no reason. Instead, you stretch the arms, extend them straight all the way. Wherever they land, that's where they land. Hips come up. The elbows have to go back now because like, how am I going to get over there now? We're going to bend these elbows back, drop the knees down. See, my elbows are so far behind my wrist. That means I need to lean, and that's going to get your feet up. If you're comfortable with crow, try one-legged. You squeeze the heel of the knee that's still down, squeeze it to your butt, and then send that other leg back. If you do that on one side, make sure you try the other side. I'll come back into malasana when you've had enough. And let's just adjust ourselves to sit on our heels. Relax here. If sitting on your heels hurts your knees, then that's not good. Your knees don't have muscles and stuff. It's all tendons and ligaments. You don't want to mess with that stuff. So if that's the case, put a block or two in between your heels and sit on that. If this is okay with you, then you're going to open up your heels and sit in between them. If that's okay, elbows come back. You could also lay completely flat on your back. No forcing, no pushing. That just creates more tension, more resistance. Learning to honor the spaces where we can relax into and sharpening up that internal compass of when we're pushing too much, when we're forcing, when things aren't in flow anymore. Try to relax the quads, relax the front of the legs. As you press into the toenails, 5 more breaths. Let go of unnecessary tension. One more breath. If you came back, start to rise onto your elbows to come back up. Don't rush that. And we'll meet in all fours, hands and knees. Let's take a few rounds of cat and cow, just massaging into all we've been working into. Exhaling to round the back, pressing the ground away. Breathing in to drop the still engaged belly, lifting the chest. A few more rounds. Take one more round and come into a neutral spine. Right, we worked a lot on inner leg awareness and engagement. So let's do the counter of the liver, which is gallbladder, outer part of the body. So we'll slide right knee to right wrist for a pigeon pose. And this right foot, you can send it up towards the left wrist also. Again, not forcing it or cranking it too far. Then we'll send this left knee back. Try not to lean over to the right too much. Keep it neutral. And if you're really high up, slide a block under this right hip. And we'll drop onto the elbows or forearms. Subtle engagement of left hip forward, right hip back to keep things even and balanced. And one beautiful way we can connect to this essence through observation in nature of the wood element and this fiery determination is how, you can have a seedling that grows through this little crack through cement or grows through cement, seeking the light, seeking life, seeking its purpose, even through the cold soils and the hard concrete. So that's that wood element, that determination to get to that goal, to break through. The energy it takes for a flower to bloom, to rip open that bud into a flower. So as we approach this turning of the wheel, this opening to a new season, fresh opportunity, can do some of these practices with these intentions in mind, sequences, pressure points, taking in certain foods, certain herbs, certain nourishment, harnessing the energy of the season to put into our projects, into our ideas, creative pursuits, to stay in harmony and balance and avoid some of the frustration and anger that can naturally come up during this time. Exploring, working with nature, not against it, learning from it, touching balance in all the ways, all the time, with this ancient wisdom. Let's take one more breath here. And slowly start to come up onto the hands. We'll do the full pigeon pose. So this really is like a prep warm up, but really traditionally from here, I'm not going to like wiggle myself to do this. I'm really going to use this inner leg action that we've been talking about. So feel like you're sliding your right hip back, right knee back as you slide your left knee forward at the same time, like a scissor closing, and that lifts you up here. You can keep the hands down if you need, or you can hold opposite elbows behind the back, or full variation, reverse namaskar behind your back. So prayer hands. 4 breaths here. The whole front body on that left side opening, stomach meridian, very important energy to balance and keep fired up and strong, active, moving into kapha season, spring, late winter. And release. You can take a vinyasa if you'd like. You can just switch the legs into pigeon pose if you'd like, or if you're feeling funky, you can drop the forearms down and then slide the leg up into headstand and then switch the legs in the air and drop into pigeon pose on the other side. Either way, we're all going to meet with the left knee forward, right knee slides back for pigeon on the left. Don't get distracted. Go in. Notice what you feel. Past the muscles, past the skin, past what you think you look like. What's really going on? What are we opening up in this outer body here? The channels, the meridians that influence emotions, thoughts. One more breath here. Let's rise back up onto the hands, moving into that traditional pigeon pose. So it's like you're closing a scissor with the legs, and let this energy come from really deep in the inner legs and the pelvic floor. So sliding right knee forward, left knee back, holding yourself up here. Beautiful active variation. You can take reverse namaskara or hold opposite elbows behind your back and feel. Be here. 3 more breaths. Stretching open front of that right side body, stomach meridian. And release the hands down. Step back plank pose. Last vinyasa we'll do together. You can lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Breathe here. 3 breaths. Drop the knees down. Let's take child's pose or Sirsasana headstand pose. Remember, these postures are seats of meditation. One more breath. If you're in headstand, meet us in child's pose. If you're in child's pose, we're all going to stay here for 3 more breaths together. Let's inhale, let's come up and come to sit. The legs extended forward. Let's practice Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. When you fold, there's a gap in between your belly and your thighs. Please bend your knees until there isn't. Okay? Let's inhale, reach up as much as we root down through the heels and the butt, and fold forward. 5 breaths. One more breath. And inhale, come up to sit. Let's cross the right foot over the outside of the left knee. You can take your twist like this, or for full Matsyendrasana, also bend the left knee so that heel's on the outside of your hip, and we'll twist to the right. 5 breaths. Don't lean back. Keep your head, neck, shoulders in a nice straight line. As you breathe, feel the ribs expand out in all directions. Diaphragm pushes down, literally pumping the organs. Exhale, everything returns up and in. Deeper past the bones, past the muscles. What's going on, really going on? Movement of energy, of blood, intelligence, memory. Slowly break the pose, come back to center. Switch legs. Left foot crosses over, right knee bends, and let's twist to the left. Concentrate deep within. Let the breath take you there. One more breath. And come back to center. So uncross the legs and come to lie down. Last posture will be shoulder stand, into plow pose, into fish pose. If at any point you are not familiar with these postures, please look at me as I'll be demonstrating them while you're not in the pose, because you cannot turn your head side to side in these postures. Okay? So if you know the shoulder stand, come right on up. If you don't, you can watch. Palms plant aside your hips. And then I push down to lift the hips up and catch my lower back. You can wiggle your elbows in, wiggle the shoulders under, and then relax the organs. Let gravity be taken off of them going down and pushing down, and let them all relax into the ribs. Relax your throat and space in between your eyebrows. If you want to try an advanced variation, you can take lotus legs here. Feel free to manually do that. And you can bring your hands to your knees and push them up. Plow pose. You can also stay in lotus for plow if you'd like. You can also stay in lotus to drop into fish now, if not legs are straight. We have the palms, the arms rolled, tucked underneath the back. If you're in lotus, you can hold the feet instead. Then we'll lift up, crown of the head on the ground, chest nice and open and lifted. If you have the lotus and you're holding onto your feet, pull your shoulders back, pull your elbows back and down. Let's practice breath of fire here, in and out like a sniffing dog. Begin. Whole body getting washed out with this breath. Continue here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, relax, Shavasana. Final resting pose. Whole body unconcerned, unbothered, relaxed, like it's disappearing. Recharging. Om. Awareness running through the toes and the feet, the center of the ankles, lighting up every cell, every muscle and part of yourself with your awareness as it runs up the lower legs, the center of your knees, lighting it up, inner thighs, inner legs, top of the legs, outer thighs, back of the thighs. Awareness swirls in through deep pelvic floor, up the abdomen, through all the organs, intestines, sexual organs, the kidneys, liver, spleen, bladder, the stomach, lungs, the heart. Relaxing lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulder blades, center of the shoulders, upper arms, center of the elbows, and forearms, center of the wrists, palms, fingers, back of the hands, throat, jaw, all the muscles of your face, crown of the head, back of the head, whole body relaxed, unconcerned, unbothered, fresh, alive, awake, alive and awake. And start to move the fingers and the toes. Take any motions or movements that feel good, that will guide you up into a comfortable seat. And hands together in front of the heart, and seal our practice with the sound of Om and the peace mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Peace, peace, peace. Peace and love. Thank you for joining and practicing, and I hope we can practice in other ways. I have different online courses available and do one-on-ones, host retreats and gatherings. You can follow me on Instagram at Shri Alchemy, and I would love to keep connecting. Peace and love. Namaste.